ladies, it's Heather, and this is actually going to be like a TTC slash who am I kind of story. I tried to do a TTC vlog, like a real quick background story, a few weeks ago, and I ended up not being able to stop ranting and raving about people asking me about trying to conceive and stuff like that. So I didn't get very far with that video. So here I am again, because I kind of got like a little shock slash surprise, I guess, today, and I was thrown off guard just a little bit, but that's okay. So that's crazy here. So my husband and I have been married for 5 years almost. September 20th will be our 5-year anniversary. We've been together for 6, and we've known each other for almost 14. October will be 14 years. 7 months before we got married, so February of 2008, we actually lost a pregnancy at 6 weeks. It was actually, I think, 5 weeks, almost 6 weeks. I don't even think it was quite 6 weeks. And that was pretty devastating to us because we were just starting to wrap our mind around it, and then it was gone. So we were actually threw ourselves into our like wedding planning because we got married in Vegas. So at the time we were kind of like, it'll happen again. You know, we didn't really think about it, like infertility didn't really like cross my mind at all, because that was a completely unplanned pregnancy and it happened like that. So I also had a miscarriage like when I was 20 or 21. So I don't know. I guess my mentality wasn't to think about why that was happening. So anyways, fast forward, a year after we got married, we officially started trying. The first year of our marriage, we kind of just were just not trying, not preventing. So going into our second year, we started trying, and nothing was really happening. I told my OBGYN about it, and she decided to do some blood work on me, and she then told me, like in October or November of 2009, I believe, that I had PCOS, and I didn't know what the hell PCOS was. I was like, what is that? I never had any issues with my cycles, ever. And they say that's a main thing with PCOS is, you know, non-existent or very irregular cycles, which I didn't have. I do have weight issues, but that's not, I don't really think that's PCOS related at all. It looks like my whole life related. But anyways, yeah, so she threw me on metformin. I wasn't really sure why I was taking it, but I was like, okay, well, she knows, she's a doctor. And then like January, February, and March of 2010, she had me do Clomid and temping and OPKs, ovulation kits. And the ovulation kits were doing good. The temps were looking good, but nothing happened. So I was like, okay. And then she wanted me to do like 2 more months of Clomid, and I was like, whatever. I quit taking it after 3 months, and I also quit taking metformin. Not that it was doing anything bad to my body, but my doctor just, like, for whatever reason, just kind of like brushed me off. When I had questions, she's like, oh, well, you need to take it, you have PCOS. Like, and she's a very nice person, but she just was not, she didn't personalize stuff, you know, like, she was just kind of like a one-size-fits-all kind of doctor. And so finally, in late 2010, I decided to switch OBGYNs. I went to another doctor in a completely different health system, and I don't know if she was any better, because she was very old school. She did not believe I had PCOS at all. She said, well, it doesn't sound like you have PCOS to me, and I'd be interested in seeing your blood work. So I tried getting my blood work from my doctor, and she wouldn't release it. She kept calling me, but when I tried to call her back, she was, suddenly unavailable. So, yeah, when I told her about us wanting to have a baby, she kind of like brushed me off, which I was kind of like, I didn't like that. I'd already been through one doctor that was kind of like, bleh. So, she kind of brushed me off and kind of was like, well, you've been pregnant before, so, it's going to happen again. No big deal. That's how I felt. And so we went a whole, like, I think we were going like 8 or 9 more months of trying and nothing was happening. I was doing ovulation kits on and off, and I was temping like religiously for months. And that was just taking a toll on us. Like the timing, I mean, oh my gosh. So in late 2011, I started having severe stomach issues. And one time it was so bad that I had to go to the emergency room, and the pain finally went away, but I was kind of like, this isn't normal. So I went and saw my primary care, and my primary care sent me for a transvaginal ultrasound. So I had that, and the diagnosis of the ultrasound blew me away. I had, and I was unprepared for it too. I had a huge dermoid cyst on my left ovary. And if you don't know what a dermoid cyst is, it's non-cancerous, but it's so big, like they can grow so big. And basically a dermoid cyst contains human tissue. Like it can contain like hair and nails and skin and like all that nasty stuff. So my cyst went undiagnosed. We don't know how long it went undiagnosed, but by the time they diagnosed it, it was the size of a baby's head, a newborn baby's head. That's big for you never to know that it wasn't there. And one of the reasons why they think now that we didn't know is because I have a retroflex uterus, which if you don't know what that is, that's where it tips backwards instead of forwards like normal ones. So, yeah, so it didn't present itself, and maybe we just didn't know. So I had a surgery consult, and in February of 2012, right after my 30th birthday, I lost my left ovary because the dermoid cyst was so big they couldn't save it. They couldn't even save a portion of it. So my left tube was gone, my left ovary was gone, and I'm already having a hard time having a baby. Now I'm 30 with one ovary and one tube. That was devastating for me. That was bad because I kept running through my heads like the what ifs. Like, what if my doctors had diagnosed me earlier? What if this? What if that? And honestly, it had to be part of my plan of my life because there's no other way for me to explain it. And, it's hard to tell people that kind of stuff because they don't really know. And when you're, I didn't know. I didn't know what a dermoid cyst was. I never knew they existed. I didn't know what PCOS was. So finally, late 2012, so starting last year, I went and saw a new OBGYN who actually my girlfriend goes and sees, and she really likes him. And I just had to get over whatever stigma I had with male OBGYNs because obviously the other doctors were not helping me. So, whatever I had against male OBGYNs, I got over quickly because he's a great doctor. He actually right away, since it had been another year since we had no child and it had been so long between my pregnancy and then, that he decided to put me on Clomid for 6 months. He actually did 6 months of Clomid, 5 unmonitored, 1 monitored. And my husband actually went in for an SA, I think in the middle of it. So right after our 3rd cycle. His SA came back at the low end of normal for morphology and motility, but his volume and his count was good. So they weren't really concerned with anything. They thought, it was a low end of normal, whatever. Nothing really to worry about. So we finished off our Clomid cycles. That didn't work out. And we took a couple months off, which when you're trying to conceive, there's not really any months off because you're always thinking in the back of your mind, we need to do it on XYZ days because we could get pregnant those days. You know, you never, at least for me, you never take a day off. I never did. Even though I said we weren't trying, in the back of my mind I was trying. My husband just didn't know. So we finally decided to go see an RE, and the RE we actually got hooked up with was the same RE that my girlfriend saw, which really made me happy because she has 2 sons now. So obviously I put all my faith in him that he is going to help us out. So we went at the end of June, and we were going to start with my July cycle, which, surprise, my July cycle came a whole week early. Usually I get bad backaches and I'm like tired and just really moody right before it starts, and I didn't have any of that. It came out of nowhere. So of course I was mentally unprepared for what was about to come. IUI, and I was going to have an HSG done. I was not ready for that. But I had to get myself there very quickly. So I had my HSG done in the beginning of August, and that came back good, which was good news for me because I only have 1 tube left, and I really didn't want to go through more surgery or more letdowns because we had been through a lot, you know. So that came back good. And then, so we went right into the IUI, and obviously that failed because here I am. We're gearing up for IUI 2, and I actually got, the end of the month is really busy for me at work, so I wasn't expecting a positive OPK this early. Last month I got a positive OPK on day 15. This time I got it on day 14. And yes, I am one of those freaks that take pictures. I don't know if you can see that. But that is my morning one. That's one I took this morning. And that's my smiley face one that I took this afternoon. So AM and PM. And so we set up my IUI for tomorrow morning, which works out good because the end of the month, like I said, is very busy for me at work. It just caught me off guard, but it actually kind of worked out. And I don't know, I'm staying hopeful, but I'm cautiously optimistic. That's what I like to say. Like, I'm very skeptical when things go very smoothly, and last month my are from A to Z, from cycle day 1 all the way to the last day of my cycle went so smoothly as far as HSG, OPKs, IUI, and everything. So I don't know. I'm just skeptical about stuff. I don't know why. So yeah, here I am about to go through IUI 2, which is tomorrow. And I've actually had my husband on Fertilade for about 3 weeks now. I don't know how good that's going to help him, but I'm kind of interested in hearing what his post-wash numbers are tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. Just a quick little rant. I bought these ovulation kits, which are supposed to detect, you know, no, high, and peak. Well, yesterday I tested and I was a blank circle. It took me right past to peak. I didn't even get this little vibrating high guy. And for the amount of money you pay for those, you would think they would work correctly. I don't know, maybe it was just a fluke. So I don't know if I'll be buying those again because they're like $15 to $20 more than the regular digital ovulation kits, and I didn't even get that middle guy. Went right to the smiley. So yeah, so there we are. So I will see you ladies soon. That's my TTC update and also my background. I finally got through it. I will talk to you ladies soon. Bye.